Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Smoke and Mirrors presented by the Sports Hit List. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Declan Krogman, Greg Polius. And once he unmutes himself and shows his camera, uh, I'm sorry, Greg, our brother, Garrison
Wow,
Polius.
that's where you were gonna take it.
I
You
mean,
Uh,
I
got no, you
mean,
got to do it right.
what
He's
you
our
what you mean?
resident fight analyst.
Well, we're gonna get
oh,
into it. We're gonna.
we
I
got a
have that. I
title.
have that set up. We're gonna do hellos first, but then, in my head, we usually bring him in. He doesn't start, but it's all right. He's here for the first time,
We're here for the
opening up the show.
beginning. Open up the show. Thanks for having me,
Gary, how you
fellas.
doing? As our special guest, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited about this one. Um,
Yes,
whenever we got big fights that come on, you let me know beforehand. I'm like, got you. Here.
awesome. Bet. Deck, how you doing? I didn't get to see you Friday. I wasn't around,
Yeah, I
but
missed you. I heard you had a nice Comic Con.
I did. I had an amazing Comic Con actually.
There we
It
go.
was a lot of
That's
fun.
good. That's good.
Yeah,
It was a nice weekend. Great weekend in sports. Exciting. I think I went like 13. If the Ravens win tonight, I'm 13-3, so I'm happy about that. And I'm looking forward to talking about this fight. The crazy baseball playoffs that nobody has paid enough attention to because of NFL scheduling and ridiculous bad marketing. Shocker on
Oh.
behalf of Rob. But yeah, looking forward to addressing everything that happened in the sports world this weekend.
Greg, what about yourself? How are you doing over there?
I'm all right. Enjoy the day off, relax. Still got some work to do, so looking forward to doing
Work.
that. Not really though.
I was gonna say, you looking forward to it? That doesn't seem accurate at all.
That sounds
I think if any adult could choose not to do work, they would not do work. I'm doing well. No one asked, but I'll let you know. As Dex said, I
You
was.
petty. You petty.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
petty.
it's
So petty.
sometimes you have to be though, and it was warranted. But
Do
yes,
you?
as Dex said, I was at Comic Con on Friday. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Manny Schefter. It was my first Comic Con. His umpteenth one. Took me around, showed me some spots. It was really cool. Had a great time. Was great personally, but also for my podcast, Black Nerd on the Low. So like, there was a lot of networking, a lot of people I met. It was a really dope time. Cosplayed. If anyone out there watches anime, I cosplayed as Shinya Kogami from Psycho Pass. If you like Psycho Pass,
If you like
congrats to you. But yeah, so it was a great time. And I'm excited to talk sports, which we are about to get into. Garrison, as you already know, you're on here to talk about this Fury versus Wilder fight that happened on Saturday night. Now,
Yes.
as our resident, you were a UFC boxing correspondent at this point, all right?
Ooh, I
that
like
that
that.
that that yeah, no, I think it's great. You're a correspondent that everyone knows at this point. Some people love. I don't know if everyone I could say loves,
who
but
who couldn't
That's
like
fair.
Garrison though.
I
Ah,
mean
that's
Manny
fair.
for sure.
Yes. And
and that's
anytime,
and that's on Manny.
yeah. Anytime someone's like, I don't like it, I was like, man, I don't think I made his cup of tea.
Yes. So, but we had this big fight that happened, 11 rounds, ended in a knockout of Wilder. What are your thoughts on the fight overall? And if you just take us kind of through a round by round of, what took place. I did not watch, but apparently Greg did.
Yeah, it's really exciting that Greg watched. I'm really happy about that because he's always I never get to talk
I,
boxing with him as much, so that's
Yeah, I am not the biggest proponent of boxing, but something said, let me tune into this particular fight. It's probably the first fight I actually wanted to watch since like, I don't know, the early 2000s.
look at that. Well, you picked a good one to watch.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
what I've
say
been
that.
hearing.
So this being the trilogy fight, this is the fight that Deontay Wilder absolutely
Yes.
asked for because in the contract, as long as he asked for it, they had to have it. Like after a second, that was a part of the whole deal. Now, personally, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. It was an exciting fight. It was everything you would want in a trilogy of heavyweights. And it follows. Going to go down. It's probably one of the greater fights that we've had in our of all time. Maybe not the best, but definitely one
all
of.
time. Wow.
That's definitely one of. Well, if you look at heavyweight trilogy and narrative that comes into it, yes, absolutely. Now, in terms of the actual fight going into it, I was very much so for Fury. I think Deontay Wilder is immensely talented with knockout power. He has pure dynamite in his right hand. He could at any point Deontay Wilder could knock you out and end the fight. Now, Fury is much more technical, and you saw it in the second fight where he really dismantled him. It wasn't a close fight. I think Wilder was like, the world kind of saw how flawed his game was, and you knew it before, but you really saw it as like, you can't really be the best if someone can toy with you, which is what happened in that second fight. Now, this third one, I do believe that as you saw, like as you went through it, Wilder, it seemed like he got better. He learned a little more of the fundamentals of boxing, which he lacked. Granted, he wasn't throwing combos. He really only had one jab. And he wasn't stringing them together. But I would say the biggest thing I saw is Wilder's heart throughout that whole fight. That man was done by round 5. He was done by round 5, and
maybe
I
even
honestly,
3.
And honestly, 3, I thought he was going to be done first time he dropped, but he stayed up. He stayed in there, but he was gassed. And it was noticeable that he was gassed. And he did come back and rally. Like, I didn't expect him to even put Fury down, 2 times as the fight progressed.
Round, right? That's what I actually wanted to ask you about that, because as I was doing my little notes and my research.
Oh, look at the notes. Okay, let me hear it.
I did see that he puts down Fury twice in the 4th round, and that second time the ref, he gives it a longer count. It was a long 10 count. It was almost like 12 seconds because he had to tell Wilder to go back to his corner. And I believe we spoke about him before on here. Is it Cormier?
Cormier?
Yeah, Cormier tweeted.
Cormier.
Yeah, he tweeted about that particular instance in the fight, because he's like that he got it was a 12-second count instead of a 10-second count, and he thinks that Wilder would have won in that round had the ref not taken the time to talk to him and just did the count straight. I don't know what your thoughts are on that though.
I can see that, but I wouldn't say that's something that would have changed for me, because it happens a lot. I think it happened in a lot of boxing counts. Like there's that second where they're speaking and making sure they're okay before that count starts. Yeah. So I wouldn't say that in particular. I wouldn't really be buying that. Like, granted, I love DC. I think DC is great. Actually, I compare in one of our group chats, I compared this trilogy to kind of like John Jones and DC. But in that regard, it's really that, I don't want to take anything away from what Deontay Wilder did, or that fight was, but Tyson Fury is purely just a better boxer than him. There is no qualms about it. For pound, he is just better. And so at the end of the day, no matter how much heart he had, how much he wanted to win, and actually a lot of poor sportsmanship on his part on the back end of that. I don't know if you saw any of the, like, he didn't want to shake his hand post interview.
No.
He told him, like, I don't respect you. It was all really like classless stuff, in my opinion. But when it comes to just
it was hurt feelings. That's what it was. They got
but it is hurt feelings. But there is a way to lose. I think there's a way. Like, you need to accept that. Yeah, and it was porous. But Fury was just the better boxer, and it's unfortunate because I love to see the heavyweights of our kind to be out and do their thing and thrive and be the best that they can be. But he got knocked out and it was bad. I don't know if y'all saw some of the I don't know if y'all saw the loops.
I think I saw every knockdown with the exception of one, because he got knocked down a few times.
Yeah.
So the last one was. The last one,
it
looked like he didn't. Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't really look like he knew what was going on.
Well, he wasn't there. He wasn't in that ring anymore.
Nah, he was fighting for his life already. He was fighting for his life.
He wasn't conscious of it. His body was just moving.
In a fight that everyone says that he got outclassed, that Wilder got outclassed. I mean, to his credit, he did knock Fury down twice, and I thought the fight there, it was a really good fight because he didn't give up. He really did. Yeah, fine. Whatever happened in post game is post game. But as far as what went down in the ring, I had to respect, everything he laid out there on the line.
And I agree. I think like that's important to know that he did knock him down. He did show guts. But given Deontay Wilder's, how he is, he has that ability at any point of the fight to put you down. That's the type of power that man has.
I believe his MO is wild puncher, no technique. But if he lands one, you're done.
Yes. Like, and most people he would fight against would have probably dropped way before that. But Tyson Fury is
He's a massive
6'9".
human.
He's a big
And
boy.
he came in heavier than when he came in. He came in 20 pounds heavier than what he did in the last fight. That man's almost 300 pounds, 6'9", with great head movement. He could throw combinations. Those punches don't affect him the way that someone else might be affected. But it's not to say that Deontay Wilder isn't, that right hand is one of the greatest right hands you're going to see. Like it's up there with like the right hand of Tyson that can put you down.
So that's a large claim right there.
That's
Let me ask you. Yeah.
No,
let me ask you this. As we're talking about large proclamation, you did say this is one of the best heavyweight fights ever. Would you put this as a top 3 heavyweight bout?
Top 3?
Yes.
Top 3, no.
5.
I wouldn't put it top 3.
I was
only
trying to
because
gauge where you saw it, because you said it was one of the best heavyweight fights ever. So I was trying to gauge.
I mean, because in terms of entertainment, entertainment-wise, people got what they wanted to see.
11
you
rounds
saw,
long too.
Yeah, like
you. I feel like never happens with fights anymore. Everyone's
like it's
there's no longevity, no
it's
length
very
to it.
tough to still feel that value. I feel like people felt like they got what they paid for watching this whole trilogy.
What? Paid for what?
Well, hey. I'm speaking to the people who went in and put up the money for that.
That's what's so funny about the fight last night is that I think that's the first time in like 5 years I've heard someone who bought a pay-per-view fight say, I'm glad I bought that fight.
Yeah.
I never hear them say that ever.
I just want to say that Carl's in the comments talking about that's a reach. And Gary, I'm assuming he's speaking to you about it being one of the best heavyweight fights, but I think you made a good case for it, honestly, as far as entertainment goes.
I think the only reason why I'm not putting it as, like Chris say, a top 3 is because there is such a difference in skill from Fury and Wilder.
More technical. If it was technical on both sides, it would be
absolutely
another tier. I don't
think, because realistically, in a vacuum, like I said, Deontay Wilder's not a better boxer than Tyson Fury. He's just not. But he has prolific knockout power. Yeah, he has prolific knockout. Like he was literally on borrowed time from the fourth round or so.
Manny's on schedule hating on Garrison in the comments.
Yeah,
I told you
my haters are my motivators. Yeah, no, it is. And shouts out to Manny. You're doing your thing over there, bro. It's cool. Sometimes I got to be the fuel for people. I get it. I accept it. It's a good, it's a responsibility. I understand.
Oh, so we got disagreement in the comments. I think we are going to. Oh, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. See, I got the comments up. Can't even see the comments.
Hold on. I think that we are going to have to debate this later on, because Eddie is in the comments saying that it is a top 3 fight of all time, and Carl is saying it isn't. So maybe that's something we can set up here on Smoke and Mirrors for the future.
I think the top three is a stretch. We like, especially heavyweights in boxing. I would say heavyweights usually garner some of the richest history in boxing. So to say that this one would be top 3 is tough, because I don't even think Deontay Wilder would be, out of any of the top boxers. I don't think he's up there to even have that conversation of heavyweights. Tyson Fury, he has that.
What if you change it though, and it's not about specifically looking at the technique of the boxes, but more so the entertainment aspect? Now, is this the top 3 most entertaining heavyweight fight? I think that to me is a conversation maybe that could be worth having.
I don't know if I can have that, only because I think
sounds like you're listening out.
Watching it live matters. Like rewatching something, like it may not get the same value you had. Like there are fights that I wasn't old enough to watch that I watched later on. Like I wasn't alive to watch Ali. I wasn't there.
I mean, neither was Carl, but Carl apparently has it as the top 3 Ali Frazier.
Yeah, but so you're looking at the Rumble in the Jungle, and it's like, it's exciting, and in that moment, I'm sure that it entertainment wise, nothing was touching that. But I wasn't there. I wouldn't be able to speak to that. But I do believe that in terms of entertainment value right now, it will go down as one of the better ones. Because I think everyone, like I said, everyone left there very entertained. Yeah. They could, like socially, especially with social media, how it was buzzing, jumping. You have people from every major sport, players in there are commenting on this and, giving credit or giving praise and being entertained. And I think it was great for the sport of boxing. I think that for the people who did watch, like I said, they left there feeling really good about it. I'm excited to see what the next major fight will be. I think Joshua is going to be an interesting take because him losing his last fight kind of makes it difficult for him to fight Fury. And that would be great because, the two British heavyweight boxers who are, prolific, that would be a really, really, really great fight. But I guess we'll see how that matures at least.
It sounds like Greg was trying to get a part 2 of this, which you sound like you're out on, which is fine. It's perfectly fine.
Oh no, I'm a dog. I can talk.
I'm sure you can talk, but we just need a for and against, like any debate, any good debate. But I do want to know this. We are going to move on. Gary, do you want to stay for some playoff baseball talk? Because you have the option. 4 squares looks nice. I like when it's even.
You like the 4 squares? And you know what I got on, so I'm down.
Oh, there it is. All right.
I'm down.
Well, from our UFC boxing correspondent to our now baseball correspondent.
The man is versatile. You know that.
So I just want to shout out the rest of the Sports Hitless teams. Just to let you know, baseball is the most versatile panelist out there. Just had to throw that out there. We could talk about anything. Anything.
You know that.
But you will never find Mike Miller, or Jamal Womack on a baseball panel.
Yeah, boy, they out of their depth.
Yeah,
And for baseball,
Travis, Rick, Ray.
Well, Travis is not good on football either. So
Travis is out of his depth on his own sport.
That's just out of pocket.
The Travis slander on this, honestly, the uptick of Travis slander on this show since he came on here.
Smoke and mirrors always delivering the smoke. We always deliver the smoke with smoke and mirrors in abundance.
Overabundance, bro. All right, so playoff baseball. Deck, you mentioned it. It has not been buzzing as much. The times that they've chosen for these games has been really ridiculous. Going up against the NFL. It's not
337,
207.
Where do they think of these? Where do they think of these?
What is this 07 obsession? I don't understand the 07 obsession. Like, why are we doing this? Can I not just get an even number? Why are we doing an odd number?
Why is an elimination game at 3:37 in the afternoon?
On a weekday.
So as we're talking about this,
we might as well get into it before we get into actual games.
Severe issues with the MLB team and specifically Rob Manfred, because I'm pretty sure Rob Manfred oversees all of this. And this is what happens when you don't put a baseball guy as the head of baseball. But we had
or a smart
yesterday.
Guy. He's not smart.
Yeah.
Now we all know the NFL
called
on Sunday.
He called the championship trophy a piece of metal. I mean,
I get that, we're going up against the NFL on Sunday, but don't you think it would be smarter to pigeonhole your game between the 1 and 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or 4 o'clock and 8:20 games?
You want to book it in between them,
yeah. Why are we starting a game at 4:30 on a Sunday? Literally when the next slate of games are starting.
Yep.
I am probably the most one of the most avid baseball fans you will find. I will watch literally any baseball. I don't care if it's Korean baseball at 3 o'clock in the morning. But yet, you used to watch baseball and say because football was on. What are we doing here? Yes, I have watched Korean baseball at 3
a.m. Nah, they're making you choose, bro.
Well, what are you laughing at, Steph?
It was the Korean baseball at 3 a.m. I was like, really?
But that's when it comes on.
I'm sure it does, and you do know. I'm just imagining you on the toilet. You woke up like your stomach hurt.
Oh my God, the Korean baseball's on. What am I wasting time on the toilet for?
Right.
Now he's on his phone. Like he wake up because his stomach hurt. He on the toilet and he on his phone watching Korean baseball 3 a.m.
Right, with the volume down.
Streaming it illegally.
Like you gotta be up at like 4 hours, bro. Like, what are you doing?
$75 season pass.
I hear
the funniest part about that was how he detailed how much he loves baseball and then said, but football was on.
Yo, that's real. That was my takeaway from that. It was like, I love baseball, but I only love baseball when football season isn't going.
I like when it doesn't conflict.
That's the point I'm trying to make. An avid fan like me does not care to watch a playoff elimination game Sunday at 4:30 if the Chargers and Browns are going at it in a
So does that mean you're more of a football fan than a baseball fan?
Oh, damn.
Greg, you did just pick regular season football over
postseason baseball.
I did. And for the Chargers Browns game yesterday, I would pick
It's
that.
fantasy
But
implications.
Okay, I'm
too,
gonna
I
tell
think.
you right
there
now,
it is. There it is.
I'm
There's
worried
money on
about
the
the
line.
backlash.
Oh,
Hold
no,
on.
no, no.
I'm
Say
saying this
that.
clip is gonna come up somewhere else.
It
No,
is
no, no.
gonna
Say it
come
again,
somewhere.
Steph.
No.
Say it
There's
again,
fantasy.
Steph.
So it's two
There's
parts.
fantasy implications and
hold
there's
on.
money on the line.
Hold
that
on, hold on.
matters.
Okay, I don't want you to think that I'm about to say everything you want me to say, because the second part of that is you have multiple screens in your home.
Yep, there you go.
could easily have fantasy on your phone and baseball on your TV. Or
Oh
vice
no,
versa.
absolutely. I mean, that's when I was watching the Fury Wilder fight. I had playoff baseball on, but my issue is the start time. It doesn't mean I don't want to watch baseball. I find a way, but the problem with that is I don't have enough TVs and devices in my house with the kids watching TV to watch everything.
Now
So,
I'm getting
I
upset that
have
he
to-
prioritized boxing. He didn't even want to watch a fight in 13
Right?
years.
Oh,
And now he's
man.
prioritizing
There's-
boxing. Dude, you're
Look
killing
at
this
this guy.
playoff baseball
I
argument right
I
now.
think you're losing right now, Greg.
We
You're
gotta
making a
stop.
case
fair.
that
I
you're a
don't want to
baseball
go
hater.
further with this.
No, I
like
did not
Anthony- I
prioritize
don't like
boxing.
Anthony Mullen in the comment
I feel-
section right now with the
I feel like you opened up to saying I don't watch boxing too much, but you threw it on before postseason.
No, I did not throw it on
no,
before.
no,
I had
no.
the game. I
It was
had
the same time. Same
No,
time.
I had the game on,
He
and then I
just-
got the free link, and that's when I turned it on.
See, it's all right.
you prioritize the free link.
No, the game was already on. But-
okay,
And
okay.
Anthony Mullen can't talk about anything. He still thinks momentum is not a thing. So he has no say in anything sports related
That
ever
is
again.
very true.
That's very true. That's very true. And well, Anthony Mullen's good for saying at least like one terrible thing a day, but he usually stretches it to about like 10. He says it about like he really leans into saying terrible things a day. So
All right.
shouts out to you, Anthony Mullen.
Let's get into these games. I'm going to talk about the White Sox Astros, right? Because there's so much implicated there. 2-1 series right now for the Astros. It started out, I mean, for anyone, I guess not anyone, but Manny for sure was feeling the heat, especially from Eddie in these group chats because his White Sox were struggling. But 2-1 series, you had Lance Lynn getting smacked around in game one
Again.
which I mean, and so you have Lance Lynn game one where you have Lance McCullers who did exactly what he needed to do. The bats were there. They win 6-1 against the White Sox. Game two now, you have the bullpen that's supposed to be stout. That is one of one of the better parts of the White Sox. And your acquisition of Kimbrel. So it was Aaron Bummer and Craig Kimbrel who gave up 5 runs in a tie game. I was flabbergasted by that because this is the backbone of your team, and here you are losing game 2 now. Elimination game 3 yesterday, which Manny, I know, as I was telling Deck, that tight butthole boy, you I know that you were just as tight on Sunday.
He's made it a thing, Steph. He's made
Colons
it.
have never been tighter at 3 p.m. on a weekday. Like it doesn't even make any sense.
If there's one thing, Steph's going to point out a tight sphincter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When it's sports related,
there's-
any fan can relate. When your team is do or die, there's you don't get to just breathe regular. Like it's not regular. You are on edge the whole game. And that game it started rough because Dylan Cease, who's one of the better pitchers, ends up in 1 2/3, giving up 3 earned runs. And it's not looking good for the White Sox, but the bats finally woke up, right? And you had a game that more people were expecting. Yes, the Astros are a really good team, but so are the White Sox. And we're supposed to have a game today, but inclement weather, they moved it to Tuesday, 2:07.
Another stupid start time with no NFL
no football
games.
no football going on. 2:07 p.m. You can find the White Sox and the Astros playing.
Bro, this
I'm
is
not even done.
College
I'm not
World
even done with
Series stuff
class
right
at 2:07. And like exactly, that's where you would get a College World Series game. This should be a prime time game. There's
So
no
Deck,
reason.
I'm guessing media-wise, they maybe just
No,
didn't
there's
have
no
the
explanation.
There's
squad.
no
There's no
excuse.
explanation.
There's literally no
It's a
excuse.
weekday. There's
What
not
is
gonna be
going on
enough
Tuesday
impressions.
sports wise?
You are not going to get enough eyeballs on that game at 2-something. It's a playoff game. You have a prime
It's
spot.
enough. That's
They
an
don't
awful
want to.
time.
They don't want to compete with Inside the NFL on Showtime. Clearly. That's what it's
But-
boiled down to.
Deck,
That and like PGA golf reruns and cornhole on ESPN.
Or like the Masked Singer.
Wow.
The Masked Singer might be going
Matt
on.
Singer is a
Look at
big
the-
deal, though.
The
Hey,
Masked Singer might be going on.
You don't want to go up
some
against the Max
view.
Singer. Casual fans you lose them. But Deck, I want to start with you. What do you make of this series? And also, I want to hear your take on Ryan Tepera and his accusation of the Astros cheating essentially when they were at home, stealing signs. What do you think of all
Astros cheating. What?
that?
No, I don't make much of it. It's very early. It's whatever.
Is it whatever? It's a huge claim to make.
It's a huge,
it is a huge
It's a
claim.
heavy accusation.
Yeah.
very heavy.
At the same time, it would be heavier if they didn't have a history. I feel like, as opposed to the other way around.
I think because of the history, them saying it went because they lost 2 games, right? You lost 2 games poorly. Their pitching did not do well, right? It would give you every indication, I think, that they might have cheated. And he comes in after winning game 3 at home for the White Sox, where they put up a lot of runs. Their pitchers
and
pitched
very
well.
different swing and miss rates. Not defeated,
Yes,
but that's what he was going with.
That's what he's alluding to.
Right.
But that's my question for you, though. Like, are you not giving this any weight? Or are you saying that maybe there is something to this? Even him just stating that, choosing to tell the media that, to me, is powerful.
I think it is powerful, but the mind of a relief pitcher will never make sense to me on just how they go about their business. But the one thing that I was really confused about was I've been saying it. I think Dusty Baker, honestly, is a legit shot for being manager of the year. He's a perfect manager for that team, especially coming off of all the,
Scandals.
I guess the reputational hit that the organization and the players on that team took. I thought he was the perfect manager, but Dusty Baker saying he could say what he wants to say. I never even heard his name before we played the White Sox. I'm not bothered by it. Most of my life, they've been talking stuff on me anyway. Let them talk. I don't see why Dusty Baker would think it's about him. He wasn't even there during the scandal.
No, that's Dusty Baker standing up for his team.
For his guys. Yep.
Because he's currently accusing them of cheating now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he said they've been talking stuff on me. Never said us. He could have said us. Like, think about it. Like, they've been talking stuff on the Astros, sure. But, I mean, who's really talked bad about – like, Dusty Baker, I don't see him as a guy that has a lot of haters at all. I don't think I could – I mean, we're all 4 guys on this panel who love baseball.
Yeah.
No issues with Dusty Baker. I think he's a great manager. So I was really confused.
No, that's Dusty standing up for his guys and basically telling this guy that you are irrelevant. You have no place to talk. Yeah. And stay in a child's place. That's essentially what
he did shut them down.
I wouldn't even say so. Like,
but what I'm saying is, granted, he shut them down. The Astros, on the face of it, are not a better team. I mean, the White Sox are not a better team than the Astros. And Dusty's like, we're here. We've been balling all year. Nobody said anything. Now you come and you say this. I'm going to stand up for my guys. Who are you to even make this claim?
Right. I mean, to say that you never heard his name before he played the White Sox. I mean, are we doing extra damage control to ensure that there was no scouting?
Extra petty.
Like,
I think that's just frustration, honestly. I think this is something that I'm sure like anyone in the Astros organization is tired of hearing about. It's not like the Astros haven't had success after this scandal. They're still a great organization. They're a very good team. And I'm sure they have to hear about it all the time whenever they succeed. Are they cheating? Are they cheating? And I'm sure they're just frustrated about it. So that
do you know
like
what's
Chris
interesting?
I bet that's how Tristan Thompson feels. I mean, whatever,
Well, I don't. For me, I thought it was a cop out. I feel like at this point, if your team got beat by the Astros, and to say that they were cheating or stealing signs, that's a cop out for trying to take away from how good of a team they actually are.
He did say it after a win.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Which
it makes
makes
sense that
it
he was
even
saying
worse.
after the win. It fits the narrative because they go home, they get a big win, the swing and miss rates are different, and he could say that because now it's a case that people can believe him. But I will say this: it's a very different approach when you're playing behind like they were when they were going against the Astros at home. Yeah. So to say that it's purely because they could have been cheating is to discount that momentum is a thing, and when you're playing pressure, when you're in a big playoff game, you're behind. What is your team going to do? I don't give it that much weight. And I think it shows poorly on him as a reliever and on the organization, because I would like for him to release a statement, because without any facts, he's saying this, right? That they're stealing signs.
Two things to piggyback off you, Steph.
Yeah.
One, he said this before an elimination game, which is dumb, because if they go out there and lose at home, he's going to look really silly. And the other thing, they still put up 6 runs in 4 innings.
Yep.
They still put up 6 runs. And lastly, I'm sorry. The Astros got caught, they're not the only team that got caught.
They're not the only team that does it.
The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Rangers, all these teams were implicated in cheating, but you will never hear it come back. all of these teams had some form of cheating that had to be investigated in some way, shape, or form.
The only difference is that they won.
I
Exactly.
mean, Tony La
That's the
Russa,
only.
Jack McDowell accused him of running something in the 80s. So this is
I'm
not
pretty
Yo,
sure he was.
Tony La Russa is like the Bill Belichick of baseball. The man he is a wild dude to me. Like Bill Belichick is a scoundrel. I respect Tony.
What is he, a Disney villain?
The scoundrel.
I know. What is this?
Gotta shake,
Aladdin?
gotta shake your fist.
Hold on.
You have to shake your
Can
fist
we
when you say
go
that. You're a
through-
scoundrel.
Can we, if you go through the stuff that Belichick has done and then just openly said,
Spygate, Deflategate,
I like, and no, like there's
all
no
the
remorse,
Spygates,
no nothing.
multiple
He does some shady shit, and you know we're not. It's not about Bill Belichick.
It isn't.
It's not
It
about
isn't.
Bill Belichick. But in terms of Tony La Russa, it doesn't surprise me that he ran some things in the 70s or 80s because that's baseball. People like you're always going to look for a competitive edge to win in this game.
As long as the sport was around, in any sport, you try to get the competitive edge. So that's not something that is unfamiliar. I do want to ask this though. So we have tomorrow, game 4. We're looking at Lance McCullers versus Carlos Rodon. And Chuck is in the comments asking, do you start Rodon still with the rain out of today? And Greg, I'll start with you. What do you think?
Yeah.
I do.
Yes.
Elimination.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Similar.
Also-
Elimination game.
We got somebody new in the comments, Marquise Brady. Shout out to him. He said if the White Sox were up in this series, he wouldn't have said anything, and I agree with that.
Absolutely not. He wouldn't have. I completely agree. It was in poor taste.
Yeah.
To have him say
He
that.
also probably knew that. Listen, while a lot of us, like us four, I've said it a lot recently. Like it was 5 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever it was. But he also knows that when he says something like that, now it's like, all right, the baseball world and the country and the public is kind of going to rally around it because listen, people still hate the Astros.
Makes
That's
headlines.
easily the most
It makes
hated
instant
team in the
headlines.
playoffs.
Mhm.
And now he's kind of getting the people to rally around his team even more. And if that's the case, then
I mean,
Well,
why
Astros
poke the
still gonna
bear though?
win,
You
right?
don't
Mike,
need
hold
to
on.
poke the bear.
You don't.
In this case.
I just want to say, Mike, you are a scoundrel as well. I see you in comments.
I don't know. You
love
want to
it.
go
I
visit
love it.
them in the Dallas area hospital? Like,
Word
love
of the
it.
day,
I love it.
scoundrel.
It is. I love it, Mike. We're gonna get to it. Don't you dare worry. And please stay around. I want to move on and get into this Rays Red Sox series, right? Because did anyone see this? Did anyone
Wild.
see this? Like
Yes.
the Red
Playback.
Sox, the Red. I mean, maybe Declan's like, yeah, the Red Sox are the best team right now because they beat my Yankees.
Oh man,
Easy target. I wasn't here Friday, Deck. I wasn't here
Low
Friday.
hanging fruit.
Deck,
Low
Deck,
hanging
that was
fruit.
low hanging fruit.
Deck, I will say this: I was not
Exactly.
here Friday. I did not get a chance to tear into you the way I wanted to,
Sure.
and that is very light. Just know there's gonna be a few barbs here and there throughout the week.
Hey,
That's all right.
whatever,
That's all right.
whatever, wherever you can get. I'm good with it.
I mean, there's a lot to get. I'll try and keep it PG-13. But yes,
He's lying.
I mean, the Yankees off the playoffs.
He's
so it
lying.
is what it is.
That's a fib. That's a fib.
Wait, it's a fib. It's definitely a Disney movie. It's a fib. No, I wasn't expecting this. After they beat the Yankees, yes, they had momentum, and we were big on momentum here, and how you can take that and go into the next series and make noise. But I did not see the Red Sox coming in and taking 2 out of 1. That first game, right, Greg?
2 out of 3. You just said 2 out of 1.
Oh, sorry, no,
2 out of 1.
I meant 2 and 1.
What you sipping on, bro?
Right? Oh, man.
2 and 1 is what I meant. But
all right.
that first game, Greg, you're hard on Eduardo Rodriguez, and he didn't show up. The bad version of him, right? Because he is very sometimes just a bad version of him shows up. The Red Sox don't even put up a run. They cannot produce any offense in game 1.
McClanahan shut them down.
He did, but then you have game 2, and Chris Sale, all right, doing his best Garrett Cole impersonation. It's just getting shellacked in the first inning.
There's another one. We got to keep a tally.
I mean, you would think Cole gave up 6 runs or something.
Oh,
He didn't have to.
God.
He was terrible.
Bro, when you end up in the back pages the way that Garrett Cole did after he's the highest paid pitcher in baseball, like, no, you're going to get the smoke. But all I'm saying is that Chris Sale has a really bad start, and you're thinking, man, this is it. Tanner, was it Hawk? He comes in and holds it down for 5 innings, and the Red Sox rally. Even Nick Pavetta,
Pavetta.
You and names, man. You struggle with names.
Struggle.
You know what?
I gotta watch this all the time with you guys. Oh man.
All right. You're doing a lot. I see you over there. You're doing a lot.
I know Garrett. Who's Garrett Cole? His name is Garrett. There's an E in his name, Steph.
Oh, it's. Oh, I'm sorry, Garrett Cole. I'll say it like that.
We're holding you accountable, big boy.
It sounds like y'all getting something. I don't like it. But it's all right. I host this show. I can kick any of y'all out when I want to.
So
oh my God.
petty.
Oh my God. What is this?
Hey, it's all right. I don't mind swinging it around when I have to. All right, don't make me do it then. But I want to keep going. So you have a 2-1 series right now for the Red Sox. They are playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
They're playing right now. Actually,
yeah.
Justin Holt, shout out to Holt in the comments. He said Rodriguez is dealing tonight, so you got the Jekyll version of Rodriguez.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hide.
Well, you should. I mean, you got the bad version. You have to get the good version now. Colin McHugh is who's going on the other end of it. Gary, what do you think this game ends?
Colin McHugh in an elimination game. It's hilarious.
Whoa, man! What is all this?
What did I tell you guys about the
elimination game right now?
What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys about the Rays?
What elimination game are the Yankees playing in right now?
What are the Mets playing in right now? Get out of here! You have no legs. You picked them to
win.
win.
I don't like
deflected deck.
You picked them to win.
Your season was 1 day longer. My bad. I forgot. It's cool.
I mean,
but Gary, I want to know what do you think this series falls? Do you have the Red Sox taking it tonight, or do you think the Rays pull out a win?
Honestly, I think the Rays have a lot of fight in them. I could see the Rays, edging out and tying this up. I think we saw it in postseason, like past postseasons with them. They are a well coached team, and they have a lot of fight and a lot of gritty guys who are going to go in there and try their best. They have a really good bullpen, really good pitching staff, and I see it being a close game coming down to the wire. But I can see the Rays winning it. That's not to say I'm not opposed to the Red Sox doing it, but I do think the Rays are going to take this one.
Greg, what about you?
The way the other night was gut-wrenching. And honestly, I don't know if they come back from that. I picked the Rays, but losing the way they did in losing the way they did in extras with the phantom ground rule double. Yeah, I say phantom because a lot of people are complaining, even though that is in the rule book. And in the run getting taken off the board, only to lose. If they lost on like a single something, but a walk-off dinger over the monster, like that hurts.
Any walk-off in extra innings.
Defeating. Definitely defeating.
So I think that momentum, Mullen, was taken into this game, and I think Boston is going to win it in 4.
Momentum is always the next day's starting pitcher, and Eduardo Rodriguez is looking to fulfill that. He's doing a good job so far. Knock on wood.
Yeah, 2 2/3, 5 Ks is what I just saw. He has given up a hit.
Wow, look at that.
No, sorry, 3 innings. See, he just completed the innings. 3 innings, 5 Ks.
Did you give the faded announcer jinx? Did you do? I think you did. You're going to be that guy.
I don't give 2 craps.
Look at this guy.
It's not my team. And if you listen to this and you're a Red Sox fan, I'm sorry if he gives up a run after this, but whatever. If Gary Cohen can do it, if Gary Cohen can do it, I can do it. All right.
You're Gary Cohen? I didn't.
No, he can do it wrong.
Did you just put yourself on the same
level?
You definitely did.
What I'm saying is Gary Cohen is going to call out whatever he wants. I'm going to just slide in behind him like, yeah, Gary, I'll do the same thing too. Like, I have respect for him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
But
real God complex over there, buddy.
Like I said, this is the longest you've been on the show, and so you're trying to take as many shots as you can. It's okay.
I got to fit them in when I can. I got to.
Did we hold on? Did we get your take?
I was the first take.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I want to make sure. I didn't want to over.
So busy trying to be.
Yeah. Nah, I'm over here trying to get the game. I was trying to pull up the stats, so I wasn't listening to it.
Boomer.
I apologize. Wow. 3 years younger than me. You're not that far away. But I agree with you, Greg. I see the Red Sox potentially pulling this out. And I think if they win tonight, that pressure is back on the Rays. It's a
what do you mean? What pressure? The series is over.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
only
thinking of the
pressure
last
they'll get is like jet lag or something.
True. If anything, it's more so that the Rays, after winning the division, losing in the first round is just really unfortunate when the second half of the season has been theirs.
I kind of don't like that divisional series are best out of 5 instead of 7.
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
agree.
I
I
love
think
it.
it works. I think it works for entertainment purposes, but
Yes.
like for baseball wise, it's not great.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's fair. Like, I feel like it would be like, I wouldn't mind seeing a 7-game series in a divisional series. Especially like especially coming out of the wild card when you play that one game, like it's tough.
How do you think I feel? My team lost to a team. They had a bad
hey,
day.
we
and
know how you
this
feel.
They just
is
swept.
not a Yankee, right? No.
No, you mentioned one game wild card. It's true.
It wasn't an opportunity. We knew what that was. It wasn't an opportunity, man. It's just
So
take that pain and we'll bring it up next year.
shout out to Alberto in the comments. He said if the Rays come back and win this series, they're winning the World Series. And I can agree with, because to overcome that type of hurt, walking off the, if you've ever been walked off on, it's not a good feeling.
Awful feeling.
It's an awful, awful feeling. It's for basketball fans out there, the equivalent of somebody hitting a buzzer beater 3 when you're up by 2 and you have no time left in a big game. So just to put it out there.
I don't think he's wrong though. Like that again, that's momentum, right? Like that is what they can take and win it all. Will they do it? I don't know. Deck wouldn't believe it because he hasn't believed in their pitching all.
I think the
it showed.
Really
and it showed.
Like
you got Shane Baz starting game 2, and you got Schlack. You got the guy Rasmussen going last night. He gave up 6 runs in 2 innings. Sorry, 6 hits in 2 innings on 3 runs. So
your best pitcher didn't get out of the second inning.
Or not. But see, first of all, he didn't get out of the third. Get it right.
Sorry, third. I'm so sorry. It honestly felt like it was shorter than that just because of how bad he was.
Well,
okay.
I mean, maybe, but yeah. I'm just trying to wait. Can I just find the
AL
correlation between the Yankees and this series? Because there is none.
You love to bring up correlations of the Yankees and the Mets, so why can't we do it now?
We're talking about one series that has nothing to do with the Yankees.
We're
talking
talking
about that. Talking about the Yankees on Friday of the Mets.
This is why it's so funny, because it is like I said the Rays pitching is suspect, and they've been nothing but suspect. And it's like,
how can you say they've been nothing but suspect when McClanahan was lights out?
Yeah, that's one game. One game.
That doesn't mean they have been suspect the entire time.
They have been suspect. They've had two bad starts.
That doesn't mean a team is suspect if it's just 2 bad starts out. If they've been suspect the whole series, it would have been over.
Not the team. The
pitching is part of the team.
Pitching. But even
then, just the pitching. Yeah, and the pitching's not that good, and it shows.
Oh, that
shows.
So they've won 100. They won 100 games because they're not that good. Is that what you're telling me?
They won 100 games.
Hold
on. You're a teacher. You are a teacher. I got to point that out. I didn't say the team. I said the pitching.
Deck. I want to Garrison. Garrison, I want to hear what you have
to say. Just to respond to that. Let's not act like the Red Sox don't play this team. A lot of times throughout the year, like this is a division rivalry. I would say right, but it's a division series. Like the Rays are a very good pitching team. The Red Sox have hit well. Simple as that. Like let's not take too bad out and say that they're a suspect pitching. That is a gross overstatement.
If you compare the staffs, I would take the Rays staff over the Yankees. I mean, you really just had Cole and
see, why are we talking about the Yankees? I'm talking about the playoff.
No. Listen. Explain. Let me explain it to you. Because the way that you cap for the Yankees, you cape for the Yankees, you would swear that their rotation was better. That's how you spoke about them. Like you weren't worried about the Rays because you trusted your rotation over theirs. And what I'm telling you
said on several occasions
when you compare
that you weren't worried about the Rays.
When you compare the two, I would still take the Rays rotation, and you have an opportunity now because they're down 2-1 in this series to say like, oh man, this is what I was telling you. This is what I was telling you. But throughout the season, they have been the better rotation. And yes, this series has
without the name recognition at that. Yes. That's really what it is. It's not the name recognition.
And all I want from you is to be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. The Yankees rotation isn't better than the Rays rotation. You won't say it. But
I know. I'll say it right now.
That's why I make it bet.
Yeah, I mean, let's go. Yeah, the Yankees rotation.
Only because I brought it up did you say it. But what I'm saying is that you had many opportunities to and you didn't. That's the only reason why it's come up in correlation.
I'm talking about the playoff teams right now. The Astros, the White Sox, and the Red Sox. All better pitching than the Rays.
I love that we struck a nerve. That's exactly what I wanted when I came back. Thank you.
Whatever makes you guys happy.
Meter is on 1,000 tonight.
Oh,
I know it means a lot.
Honestly,
it means a lot more to you guys than it does to me.
But. I mean, it shouldn't mean as much to you because you're on the receiving end. But it is what
receiving
I'm
end. The Rays are down 2-1. So let's see what happens.
And I'm fine
They're
with that. Bro.
boring
No
ass
horse in the race.
staff. They got
No
a stable
horse in
full
the
of
race.
boring ass horses.
Actually,
As Kevin
almost.
Cash would
Okay,
say.
hold on.
Throw in the
Hold on.
boring.
Wait.
No, hold on.
Why
Wait,
do you
wait.
do this to yourself?
Wait, it's fine. It's fine.
Do it to
Also, they lost.
I'm afraid
They
of
lost
you.
their
Are you
ace.
kidding me?
They did
Yeah.
also lose their ace very early in the
Yes,
season.
true.
And still
And they
lost
Before they were in
still
first
won
place.
100
Before
plus
they
games.
were in first
Like,
place.
they still won 100 plus games. You have to. You absolutely have
But
to
see,
give at
this
least
is
some
this
sort of
is
credit
not
to how
this
good
is not
that
what I
staff
said,
is.
and you guys need to listen.
No, I'm saying
I
the
said,
stats. I'm talking about the stats.
Stats,
the
regular
stats
season, they were
directly.
very good pitching teams. They
You
were
didn't
very-
even
So
say
we're gonna
that.
wait.
You
Hold
didn't
on,
even
wait,
say
hold on,
that.
They
hold
were
on,
a-
hold on.
But see,
Hold
you're
on,
listening. You got to
Deck,
listen to what I'm
Deck, let me
saying.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. So you're gonna base their staff off of 3 games right now and call them suspect?
Nope. I said
Sounds like
you will see. I said you will see come playoff time that this Rays pitching staff is not as good as the other teams in the postseason.
Why? But you would have to
So
base that
far.
off of regular season, correct? Regular
Yeah.
season, they were
I mean, you
months.
need some kind of foundation.
need
for
some
your
sort of-
claim.
You're starting Shane Baz in game 2, and look how it went. That's
I'm
all
sorry.
it is.
Hold on.
Chuck
I
Baldy
just-
said it best. He shouldn't have been starting game 2. That's not a good look for a playoff team. And that's why they lost.
I want to acknowledge Holchi in the comments because it's gold. He's like, Deck, me and you need to talk pitching one day after that take.
He can step in the box.
I don't think that actually is going to get the answer he wants from the wild take that he thinks he just had. And it's okay. I think, if anything, if the Rays come back now, man, oh, man, I want
the
that.
Rays show tenacity, man. I see them
do.
coming. Like, I could see them tying this up 2-2.
It's just for this take, though.
Yeah,
like,
it's
because
not-
it makes the show
we
fun.
all picked the Rays to win this series. It's just we all wrote the Red Sox off, and they've had 2 really good games.
Yes,
so,
yes.
shout out
No,
to
we
them.
did.
I mean, we all wrote them off. We did think this was going to be a quick series, and the reason that it hasn't been is because the Rays pitching. I mean, you cannot have a bad start by Chris Sale. Chris Sale, you light up Chris Sale, and you still lose. Like, there's no excuse for that.
That's fair.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
That's a fair
Yeah,
point.
there's nothing wrong with what you're saying there. I just don't think that if you take their 2 games and be like, this is what I was telling you. This is what I was telling you. They're really
No,
bad when they've been good all season. Better than the Yankees.
See, I didn't
Like,
say it, but again, you keep
You
mentioning
said
that, and
suspect,
it's-
which is
but no, no.
worse.
But what I'm saying is
Which
that
is
you're using these 2 games and saying like, this is what I've been telling you guys. They're not good. Like, that's what you're saying. These
No,
2 games.
I said their pitching staff will get exposed in the postseason because it's not as good as the other teams. And so
But
far,
are you not saying what
Suspect.
I just said?
It's
But
suspect.
you're saying what I just said though.
I don't
You're
know.
saying based on the
this is
regular
tape.
season that they're
it
sus.
is on tape.
And
And
that,
if
and
they
that
lose, you know how
these 2
funny this is
games
going to be?
Are the reason why they're sus. It's fine. It's fine. We can move on because there's other. We're gonna talk about the NL now.
I know, Carl. Carl, you usually have a guy for this. Chop this up, man. Let's bring this back.
Hey,
I want to move on
we
to
could
the
be bringing
NL.
it back in like a day. We could be bringing
Giants
it back
versus
in a couple hours.
Dodgers. Hey, but Giants versus Dodgers because that series is
The
gonna be
heavyweight
5-1.
series.
Right, man.
Bro.
And like in my head, I'm like, okay, the Giants all season pretty much like they were just it, right? No one expected them to do it. The trade deadline ends. We get into the second half of the season. They're still out here just grinding, getting the wins, and here we are. Lo and behold, the Giants shut out the Dodgers in the opener.
Good for them. Just an
Like,
exciting team.
this is what's great for baseball, though, right? Because here's this underdog team that no one really had doing anything. All of these guys having career years, which no one expected. Buster Posey, just out of nowhere,
First ballot Hall of Famer at this point.
And so, Gary, I'll start with you so we can move on because we've been spending a lot of time on this. Who do you have for this series? Tonight we have Alex Wood and Max Scherzer going. So I want to know who you think is winning tonight.
Honestly, as much as I think the Dodgers have been very impressive, and they shocked me in terms of what they've been able to do. It does not too much because they have that championship caliber. They've been there before. They have it in there. They have that pedigree. However, I still think the Dodgers are gonna, I think they're gonna come back and take this. A lot of talent on that team, and they could get hot as anyone. They have the pitching for it, and they have star-studded guys who could come in, who they get paid a lot of money for these moments. So I do believe that they're gonna come up big, and I'm excited to see how this whole thing plays out. I wish it was a 7-game series. This doesn't deserve to be a 5-game series. And this is why I said that what I said earlier is that I feel like if we had this at 7, we would be thoroughly entertained. But I still have the Dodgers.
Too. Yeah, seeding like the NFL. That could also help.
Yeah. But yeah, I have the Dodgers coming, taking this out.
taking what, winning tonight or just taking it
No,
all?
I have them winning tonight. I have them winning tonight and winning it all, actually.
Okay.
Update real quick. Red Sox just went up 3-0. Looks like Devers went yard.
Oh, shocker.
Now.
All the
Did he
kid
go
does is
yard? Oh, Colin McHugh in an elimination game? That's not going so well, huh? Unbelievable.
Hold on. I want to shout out your mom's deck because she holds you down like none other. She's in the comments. She says, "How many polii rather do you need to take down Declan?" Yeah, so funny.
That was funny.
That was really funny.
I mean,
Mama Krogman, you got it.
That's two in a row. That's 2 in a row that she said the most impactful thing on the show.
That is funny. But yes, Greg, what do you think of this series? Who you got tonight and who you got?
Shout out to Chuck in the comments. He kind of hit it on the head for me. Alex Wood revenge game here.
Over Mad Max. That's the deciding factor here.
Not absolutely.
So
the guy who curses himself on the mound, you're taking Alex Wood over him in a revenge game?
Baseball is a funny game where sometimes even if the better pitcher's on, there's a lot of things that can kick the other team's way. And I think the Giants are just having one of those years. I can
agree with that.
The ball is just going to bounce their way. Kind of like, I think it was 2012 or 2014 when nobody expected them to win the World Series. And they just started, running a gauntlet. I can see them squeaking one out, late here.
But you know what the difference between that? They had Mad Bum. They had a guy who was bigger than big when it came down to it.
I don't disagree.
But who stands in the way from that? Hold on, Steph. One more thing. Who stands in the way from that? Max Scherzer is one of those guys. He's the guy who you can hand the ball.
Hear me out. Max Scherzer loses this game tonight, the Dodgers are in trouble.
I don't think he loses it. That's the thing. I don't think he loses this game.
All right, we'll see.
Dak, I just wanted you to know it wasn't McHugh who gave up that home run. It was McClanahan. He came in. And
McClanahan came in, the game one starter.
Yeah. I think they went 2 innings with McHugh and then 2 in the third right now. I'm sorry, 2/3 of an inning is where McClanahan is right now.
I definitely want to have a segment on how managers utilize their pens and their pinch hitters in the playoffs because I've noticed a trend and I don't know how I feel about it yet. But that's for a later date.
Are you thinking that there's some over managing going on?
That's for a later date. I don't want to get into it now, but I definitely think it's
the over managing comment.
I definitely think it's a segment that we could get into for baseball wise.
So that's a lefty. That's lefty on lefty. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a shot.
And Beck, you're going Dodgers, right? I mean, just based on like what this conversation.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'm rooting wholeheartedly for the Giants just because it's an exciting, nice team. But I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. One interesting thing, and not that they don't get enough flack for it, but talking to my dad earlier in the week, the Dodgers have won.
Shout out to Brian.
Obviously, of course. Shout out to Brian. The Dodgers have won once in 30 years, and it was that 60-game season. So right now, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. This is a team that is going to be hungry, looking to win, but they have won once in the past 30 years. Doesn't get talked about. Coming up the 60-game season, I do think they are going to be very, very, very hungry in the postseason to get a win after that long grind of 162 game, and the champagne will be flowing on a new level if they can
deservedly so this time.
Yes, totally. If they could take down even the Giants, I mean that's a big series win.
It is now 4-zip.
Bigger for there we go. Yeah. Bigger for the Giants if they win than the Dodgers, I feel like. Just because I do view, although the Giants have a better record, I view them as a slight underdog to the Dodgers based on the caliber of talent. And like, it feels like a super team with the amount of talent they have on offense and in pitching. Almost made a football reference there over in LA.
Yeah, I mean, just for the sake of time, I agree with Gary and Dak. I'm gonna go Dodgers here.
I'm on an island.
Yeah, you are. I just can't go against Max Scherzer. It is. I mean, I don't think it's anything. There's necessarily something wrong with it, but I can't. I'm not going against Max Scherzer tonight. And I see this Dodgers team delivering.
I also got the Giants winning the World Series, so there's that. Wiki. At least once an episode. You know what? That's karma. That's karma for all the pettiness from this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that actually was right on cue.
It's funny because I don't know until you guys react because I freeze, but I could see all you moving still. And then I'm like, okay, I'm frozen. And I just have to prepare what I'm about to say when I come back.
Nah, you were scratching this time. You was frozen and you were scratching. Yeah.
Oh, was it like a funky scratch?
Yeah, we almost
Grandmaster
dropped the
Flash
diss track.
scratch?
We almost dropped the diss track from it.
All right, but let's move on to the last series, Braves Brewers. Which this
Well,
has been
shit.
It
no, keep going.
It's been so difficult to watch those games. I haven't been able to watch any of them.
I mean, they're more of the closer games that we've seen. I mean, there have been some lopsided games in every other series except for this one, where any team could pretty much take it. It's currently 2-1 Atlanta. But Greg, just to move along quickly, who do you have? I think they're playing tomorrow night. There's to be determined for both teams for pitchers. But who do you have for this series?
I initially had the Brewers, but it looks like the experience of Atlanta is what's at play here.
Without their star player too, which I just find so impressive that what they did at the deadline.
Well, Freddie Freeman they have another star in Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is a.
But I mean, if when you have the superstars that any team has, like when you lose one, to imagine that you're in the situation they are in now is still very hard to believe.
Also, Austin Riley and Dansby Swanson absolutely stepped up.
Dansby Swanson more so than even Austin Riley.
Riley sooner than Swanson.
They made Dansby 2 today, and Austin Riley made 2 huge defensive plays with runners in scoring position that allowed them. For those of you talking smack about me not watching the game, I was watching this one today, so hold that.
There was no football on today. So.
Touche.
They don't have Korean football at 3 a.m.
But I think Atlanta put themselves in a position to close out this series, especially at home. That Atlanta crowd was really big today in terms of like crowd noise, which is something I usually don't think about for Atlanta, but they definitely played into it today.
Tampa's getting washed. It's 5-0 Boston. Game 1 starter who's now coming in relief, Shane McClanahan.
5 earned runs.
Sorry. Right? Yeah.
What inning we in?
We're in the bottom third. Yeah. He went 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, no strike.
I'm sorry. Marquise Brady. I don't know where this guy came from, but he's funny. I like him. He said CFL was on.
So Chris, you gotta step it up, bro.
Credit to Greg for picking baseball this time.
It's still early. It's only the bottom of the third. The way that these series have been going, I could see some offense being mounted, and this game being within. So
far from over.
It's a good update though, because McClanahan has been shellacked.
That's their number one.
Chuck said Red Sox, Astros, ALCS. He hopes Hal and Cash burn.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That is a fun matchup, though.
In terms of,
I was gonna say, Gary, I didn't get yours.
Yeah. Honestly, I could see Atlanta taking this. I didn't expect them to. I didn't really have a say in this series. I honestly believe whoever wins this is going to be fodder in the championship round.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely do not believe that they're going to, like, whether it be the Brewers or Atlanta. I don't think they stand up to whether it be the Dodgers or the Giants. So whoever won this was just pure entertainment value for me. But I do think the Braves are going to pull it out. Very good team. I'm really excited, and I want to see Freddie Freeman play on a bigger stage too. So
yeah,
I'm excited for that.
Deck, what about you?
Yeah, I think Milwaukee's going to come back. So far, Manny, Chuck, and I's Brewers that we've all picked to go far have let us down a little bit, but I think they're going to come back and win this series in 5.
The Brewers. All right. Wow. I can't say I'm surprised by that, and I don't think you're necessarily wrong about that. I'm gonna go Braves here though. I think they can take it tomorrow night. I'm curious to see who they're pitching though. I want to see the matchup's going to be to really know, but I'm going to go Braves here. Due to time, it is 8:13, people, and I know you were having fun. We were having a lot of fun. All right, there was a lot of jokes being made here, but we're running up against Monday Night Football. We do want to get to the predictions. All right, so Deck, I'm going to whip it back to you. Colts Ravens tonight. Actually, I know what your prediction is already, since you you're 13-3 at this point, right? You got the Ravens tonight.
Yeah, I'm 12-3. I need the Ravens.
12-3. Okay.
And I got the Ravens, and I'm really I've been very disappointed with the Colts as a whole. I know Wentz has been banged up. That's the story of his career. No shade. But
Wentz,
I
though.
mean, this team was a playoff team last year with Phillip Rivers, and they have gone downhill tremendously to start the season. And there's just no excuse for it. I think Frank Reich's a hell of a coach, but his seat is definitely getting warm. And I wish it wasn't, but that's just the reality of the situation. Give me Ravens by like 17.
Gary, what you got?
I have Ravens in here. I am so excited to see what Lamar Jackson is doing this year, especially with the talent kind of going down around him, whether it be his line or his offensive weapons. So I am all aboard this Ravens train, and I got Ravens. I got Ravens winning. It's not in the landslide, but I do have them win this by authority.
Yeah. Greg, what about you?
I love what Lamar is doing this year.
You laughing at Chuck?
Yep. I knew you were.
Yeah,
He's
Chuck's in the
100
chat
points
saying he
for
needs the
Ravens.
Ravens D to get 100 points for him.
Oh, to beat me in fantasy.
And I want to shout out Manny and Marquise. Marquise has Ravens 24-10, and Manny has them 31-10. So everyone's kind of
I love what Lamar is doing. He's leading the league in passing yards per completion at 14.4, which is big, especially for those people that say, well, Lamar's an inaccurate passer and things of that nature. I will once again say the addition of Sammy Watkins is huge. Even though it may not show up in the stat sheet every week, he plays a pivotal role in allowing Hollywood Brown to get open. And shout out to Latavius Murray, and kind of just holding down that running game.
I mean,
they're
the most prolific rushing offense in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
with Lamar Jackson as the head of it.
Like
Latavius Murray in the red zone.
But any running back is really going to thrive in that.
I mean, we can't offense. Say that because what's the Freeman came in, he did nothing. Who else?
Well, you still have Le'Veon Bell on the practice squad, right? Has he
he has
a healthy scratch, Chuck.
He has been upgraded.
It's not really their whole running game because, I mean, even last year you would see more carries for the running backs. It's really Lamar Jackson who's leading the way, and I'm not just saying with like his yardage, but the carries.
And, yes, of course he is, but they get a lot of that RPO, and like when the misdirections, those running backs eat off of that because you can't take your eyes off Lamar, and he's good enough to watch the defense and react. I understand that.
I'm just saying the numbers, right? The counting stats aren't really there for the running backs like they have been in the past. Latavius Murray is good on short yardage and goal line, like that's somewhere they use him a lot. But when they need the big gain, it's Lamar Jackson that's really getting the gain.
As it should be.
No, it shouldn't be. I don't like that necessarily, just for health reasons wise, like relying on that throughout the entire season. I like the running game in prior seasons, but what I will say is a big difference for me is Hollywood Brown has been much better outside of week 3. He's been a reliable wide receiver 1 for them while Bateman is still out. He is produced, which he didn't do at all last year, pretty much. And that makes the difference. When Lamar sits back and he's throwing, he has a wide receiver that he can rely on. And, obviously Mark Andrews is there, but he needed a wideout on the outside to get it done. And Hollywood's been doing that.
Can't wait to see what Bateman does to that offense.
Especially for fantasy purposes.
And then the last thing I wanted to add about the game, Steph, to your point, I think the difference is early on, Lamar was more of a primary rusher, whereas like he would look to rush first, whereas now he's kind of developed I'll rush when I need to type of attack, and it's played better for his health.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true. Yeah. I also do think that a lot of schemes, and we saw it with a good defense with Denver, they're going to try to make him a pocket passer. Mm-hmm. And credit to Lamar, when they do that, he still throws for 300 yards, gets his touchdowns, and leads his team to victory. And he's done that the past couple of weeks.
And Marquise, once again, with another good point. He said, though, in the O-line and defense needs to get healthy, and they're going to be better.
And that's really what it is. Their
defense is not as stout as
yeah,
it's not as stout as it was, especially the pass defense. So that's something that definitely needs to improve. Thankfully, Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman haven't been airing it out. They're not too much to be worried about.
Only Pittman gave him the number.
Still, though. What'd you say, Jack?
I said if only Pittman gave him his number. You guys remember
Oh, I
that?
said
whole
Carson Wentz.
controversy? This is what it all boils down to. You can't have a quarterback do that good in number 2, just as Zach Wilson, all right?
Ooh. Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about the Giants, and I'm
Yeah.
sad about it, but it is what it is. I'll let you end on that note, Deck.
He has to. He has to. Because even as bad as the Jets are,
That's a good jab. Good jab.
Those Giants.
Before
I mean, the Giants
you,
have half their team in the hospital. I mean, are we serious?
They weren't going to win that game anyway.
Just last
They
week.
were,
Yeah.
but they were going toe to toe
They
with
were
them
gonna
while
lose.
they were.
I think Daniel Jones made a very poor decision on that run to stay in bounds and take that hit, which
Totally.
is just stupid. But
Yeah, I think the play call sucked. I don't get why they didn't just sneak it up the middle with him.
Yeah.
He's been really good on that his entire career. But he's made a lot of strides. Hopefully he can get back healthy.
Jason Garrett
He's
is
really
not good
showing
at what he
to be.
does.
Brody isn't good. That's why. It's a homeland reference.
But
For you guys.
Kadarius,
There it is again. Twice.
Is that a Matt Brody reference to Homeland? Oh, bro.
Yes, it was.
Damian Lewis. I'm so sad he left Billions. He is.
Don't wait. Stop. I have to rewatch Billions.
What do you mean?
Don't do that.
That was in the news.
Yeah.
That was in the news.
He doesn't read the news.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what he's telling you.
I don't read entertainment news.
My mic skipping is telling me that we need to go. That's what that is. the second time.
Before you sign us off, Steph, I just want to shout out Hofstra Baseball real quick. Their alumni weekend is happening this weekend. Unfortunately, I won't get to go out there and take BP and try to hit Yates. But
Womack's gonna pitch to you instead.
I hope my former coaches out there, Scotty Coppola, Asa Grunenwald, I hope they go out there and have a good time with the rest of my former players. So shout out to Hofstra Baseball.
Nice. Yes. Shout out to Hofstra Baseball. Yes. But for everyone else, thank you for hanging with us. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to all Hit List content on YouTube, Facebook, and IG. The handle is Sports HL. Again, that is Sports HL. I hope you all enjoy the game tonight. We have Fan Zone tomorrow at 5. I want to say 5 p.m. It hasn't changed. Manny, are you in the chat?
Yeah. I'm gonna need you guys to get with it.
Every week I'm like guessing what time you got to start it. But
it's like a pick'em.
It is like a pick'em. I'm going 5. All right, I'm going 5.
I'll go with 6. We'll see who's right.
All right.
30
Y'all
maybe?
rude.
No, they said 5. They said 5 in the comments.
5. All right. 5 in the comments.
Bring in the smoke.
There it is.
I might have to pull up
the
on
name.
Manny and talk some trash about his Raiders.
We're not new to this. We true to this. Just know that.
You can catch the Fan Zone at any time. It's like Judge Judy in the afternoon. You'll find it somehow. All right, just trust it's there.
Love it. But yes, from us at Smoke and Mirrors, your host Stephen Polis, alongside Declan Krogman, Greg Polis, and our special guest, our correspondent for UFC, boxing, and baseball. Just he does it all. Garrison.
Do it all.
Ability. The
Thank
best,
you guys.
the
Thank you
best
guys for having
catcher
me.
named Gary in New York.
I love it. Y'all enjoy your week. We'll see you on Friday. Take care.